Okay, this is what we're gonna do. This is the Auria. Now, if you watched the video just before this one, this was where I prepped the entire background, got it ready for what I'm going to do, and at this point, we're going to breeze through this as fast as possible, which means I'm not gonna do a lot of commentary because, well, I've got a business meeting right after this video, and what do I wanna do? Well, not a business meeting, but let's go to it anyway. So, we've got a mixture here of our Prussian blue, we've got a little bit of our burnt umber in it, and we have some Payne's gray and just a touch of ivory white. Not white, sorry, of black. So we're gonna just go ahead, and this is one of the nice things about this painting is we just go as fast as we can. Right now we're using one of these makeup brushes. It's gonna really just kind of pull some paint on. And this painting is fun because you don't really worry about where everything's going. You just go. And you go, and you go. And what do? You keep on going. Why? Because that's the way it is. And I don't really plan out any of the audio for these, so you guys are just going to have to listen to a stream of consciousness. It's funny. If you listen to some people, notably ex-wives, they generally say, I don't have any kind of consciousness. Okay, we're going to keep on going. Now, we're going to pop over to another brush real quick. Oh, crap, where did I put my other brush? Okay, I don't know where it's at. We're gonna have to use this one. We're going to just keep on pulling that in, and then we're gonna clean it. Oh, I think I found it. No, I didn't find it. Okay, never mind. We're gonna clean the brush. I dropped that one. You know, this is really becoming a comedy of errors, but just go with it. Okay, I know there's another brush in here somewhere that I was going to use for this. I just know it. I don't know where I put it though. It's not up there, it's not to the side, it's not there. We don't have it anywhere. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to use the same brush, and we're just going to pull some of that wet paint into different places. And if I get water droplets, I don't care. In fact, I'm going to darken up this corner a little bit, just kind of pull this in. All right, and this is what I love the Auria. The Auria takes not nearly as much time. It doesn't take as much effort on me. It's just something that I can do and have a lot of fun with. So we're going to do that. And you know what? I do have something that I can do. I can pull in a big fatty. What do I want to pull in a big fatty for? Well, we'll just kind of use that to just pull some paint in the right spot and get it pulling in here. This is literally just the first layer of this painting. And boy, makeup brushes make things so much easier. Look at this. And then we'll just kind of pull down a little bit right there so that we can get that up-down motion. Oh, drop that back in the water. Why? Because we're going to use it later. Uh-oh, we're picking up paint. So what are we going to do? We're going to dip back in, get some more heavy paint. Just kind of put a lot of it there and then come down in here. This painting is designed to be done quickly. And it's designed for really loose, fast motions. Okay. I love the Auria. The Auria is one of my favorite things to paint. All right. We already dropped one other one, so we're going to pop over to another big fatty. Okay, and we're going to pull it. Now, I like that. I like this motion I'm getting in here. In fact, I'm going to pull it up and down here. Get kind of a separation, and then move it in through here. Move it down. Get some more paint. And it's all wet now. Okay, well, that means more paint. If it gets wet, it's not going to really stick, so you need to throw a bunch more paint in there. Maybe we'll get a little flare going on here. I really would like to know where my other small makeup brush like this went to. It's got to be right in front of me. You know, the Greeks have a word for that. They call it scotoma, where you build up a blind spot and then you can't find anything. All right, and I'm sure that I don't have it inside there. Let me just take a look. All right, one great big brush. One not so great big brush. We just put our hand in there. Now our hand's just covered in water. This is great. You know what? As far as videos go, this may not be the best one that I've done, but I don't care. We're going to keep on going. You know what? We'll just use this. Now, this brush right here, this is another makeup brush. This one sucks up water like crazy. So you only dip it in just an itty-bitty little bit of water. You put it out there, and this one does these things for me where I can make nice little circles and drag the paint around a lot. And the reason I want to do that is I don't want it to be completely opaque through here. I want it, because it is the wind, to pull a little bit. Oh yeah, and I want there to be some spots that are less opaque than others. That's working great. It's working well. See? Doesn't matter if you accidentally lose one of the brushes, you just set aside for the video that you're doing for all of your fans, especially all those fans that haven't found me yet. All these fans that haven't found me yet, you know what the best way to support the channel is? I want you to go to imagicardgame.com. That's I-M-A-G-I cardgame.com. I want you to subscribe to this channel, first of all. Smash the like button. But if you want to support us, you really want to go out and get a couple of limited edition prints of some fantastic things. I have the last Auria painting in a print form on there. It's an 8x10 print. It's only $25. Great opportunity to get a professional print from the artist that you're watching and support the channel so that I can keep on making more videos like this for you. Okay, and we're going to get a little bit more. We're going to leave most of that alone because I'm going to do that with fine brush. But this, let's pull that out. Yeah, because the wind's pulling like that. We can always come back in with a little bit of other color and just kind of fill it in where I want to, not fill it in. I don't want a big connection here. Again, I want it to feel like it is the wind. And you know what? I'm going to pull there. I'll fix some of that later. Not everything always goes the way that you want it, but an Auria painting is not supposed to get to a point where it goes the way you want it. It's supposed to, yeah, that's nice. Look at that pull now. We'll just pull some of it all the way out. We'll redirect some things here. Get a little bit more color going in this way. We might come in and soften it up a little bit later. We might also come in with some white or some white and yellow, probably our titanium white with medium yellow. And we will adjust the way that works. Okay, a little more here. Some of you might ask, why didn't I film the part where I was doing the sketch? Well, that's pretty easy. The sketch takes a bit more of my attention, and I don't get to talk while I do it, and that means that you just sit there and watch a sketch going on. Well, that can be pretty darn boring. I don't like it. The other reason, I'm in a hurry. I've got a business meeting come up, and I don't want to go to the business meeting, but we're going to do it anyway. All right, here we go. Now, this big brush that we're using is filling up with a little too much water. Not too much water, sorry, too much paint. Opposite that. Switch that one around, turn it around. So we have to clean it off and then use it to get this kind of a view. Yes. Right now, really what we're creating is motion. Yeah, got it, got it, got it. Guess what? It's almost time for our little pink friend. Who's our pink friend? The hair dryer. Why? Because we dry our paint because, well, I paint so quickly that things don't ever dry fast enough for me. Okay, all right, we're gonna drop that one in. You know, by the time I get done with this video, I'll end up finding out where in the heck that other brush is. So we're gonna just go ahead and hit it with the hair dryer now, dry that stuff off. You know what, forget that for a minute. What I really need to do is get some of those details taken and put in properly. It's kind of tough sometimes because you've got to come in. Oh, did I just get my head in the way? All right, well, let's not do that. I want to pull. And then I'm not worrying about something that's going to be anatomically correct on the fingers because it's the wind. Why? It doesn't have to be accurate. Why doesn't it have to be accurate? Maybe you should ask the wind. It's wild, it's crazy. It does crazy weird stuff, and it's not going to be pretty right through there or as elegant as I like. In fact, it looks a little odd. So you know what we're going to do? I'm going to use a trick that I like to do. We just take that part out, and we'll leave it to that. And you're like, but there's still a thumb there. Well, that thumb was making it look really weird and awkward, so when I get back to that spot, I'll just change it. Why? Because I can. Why? Because it's paint. You can always change it. What was it Bob Ross said? It's a happy little tree. Happy little, there's no mistakes. It's your own little world. Doesn't matter if it's your own little world. It's my world, and we're going hog wild and crazy today. Okay, we're going to come down. This thumb looks nice and elegant. We'll leave that one there. This is bringing out there and there. There. I like that one. That one looks okay. We'll leave that. We're going to get a smaller makeup brush, really, really tiny now. And we're going to bring this through here. And I like that. I like that pull. It looks good. And we're going to just bring that out. Okay, in fact, I like that better. We'll leave it that way. And I'm going to bring this in here. Okay. We're going to get our big fat brush. Yep, I'm changing it on the fly. Why? Because I want to. And if I want to do it, I get to. Why? Because it's my painting. You know? I love it when I get someone who comments on the channel and says, well, you know, what you really should have done is this. Look, you can do that to your own painting. This is my painting. I'm not your softer side of Sears here. I'm not exactly the nicest guy. I am a nice guy to all of the people that I like, right up until I'm not a nice guy. So, all right. Here we go. Got it coming in, and I think we'll add a little bit of color right there, and then we'll soften it out. Big fat brush. What are we going to do with it? Soften out. In fact, we're going to soften everything. We're just barely hitting the canvas with this. And I mean, when I say just barely hitting the canvas. You remember that second ago where I said I was going to use the hairdryer and soften everything up, and then I decided to monkey with everything again? Yeah, that's okay. That's part of the process. Now, Mr. Hairdryer comes out. Pinky. Okay. Yeah, it's a lot of noise. Did I mention it's a lot of noise? Just in case I haven't mentioned it before, it's a lot of noise. All right, there we go. Okay, we've got that. Oh, I just realized this is not getting that side of the canvas for the video. That's okay. You guys will just have to see it when I'm done and I show the photo. Okay, I got a whole lot of brushes that I used in really quick succession. So they've got to get some black paint out of them and then go on this big old section of towels that are here. There's another brush in there. That's right. You know what? I'll bet that brush I'm looking for is on the floor. We're going to look on the floor real quick because that's drying a little bit anyway. And I don't see it on the floor. So I'm going to stand up. I'm going to look around. I'm going to pick things up. And I still don't see it. Why don't I see it? Where in the world did that brush go? Oh well, it's here somewhere. I know it's here somewhere because it hasn't left the studio. How do I know it hasn't left the studio? Because I didn't leave the studio with it. If I didn't leave the studio with it, it's got to be here. Somewhere in all of this mess, it's got to be here. No, it's not here. Okay, we're going to use a different brush. In fact, we're going to pull out a clean brush, one I haven't used before, because we're going to use it for some details. See this great big round that's all pointy and whatnot? Now it's brand new. I just took the little plastic piece off of it. That'd be this. So that fits right over top. But what we're gonna do is you've got to get that a little wet, because there's a slight glue that's on that. And that glue has got to come a little bit loose before you can really use that brush. Okay, all right, now, these are really soft brushes, by the way, but there we go. See, it looks good. You can bring it to a point. It probably still has a little bit of that glue in there. That's okay, it's pliable enough. We're gonna really dip that in our mixture. We're gonna start up here, and what in the world is that? I don't know. We're gonna pull that through. And right now I mean, that sketch was really nothing more than a guidance anyway. So the sketch doesn't matter that much. I'm just gonna kind of pull through. I like the idea of getting these little lines. Let's get those. They come and they trail off the closer I get to this. Maybe we'll pull that in, get that a little darker. It looks really messy right now. That's okay. It's gonna look messy. I don't care if it's gonna look messy because I've got other colors I'm gonna put in here. This is literally just getting started. So an Auria painting should be anywhere between 3 to 2.5 hours, sometimes a little less. I've done a few of these paintings now, so this one might be a little less than all of that. We're gonna come down here. We don't want to touch the edge that I've already got going on there, so we're just filling in a little bit. And we don't want to go in too much right there. Maybe get that line a bit more. I like that. That looks good. All right, let's pull it in. There, yeah. See, and we're looking really good with what we've done here for the hand. The hand is going to mostly disappear into all of that. It's going to just kind of trail off. And it's okay to change paintings like this as you go. If you've got a painting that you have to really focus on, or you've got a commission, maybe you need to really focus in on it and make sure it's all right. But on a painting like the Auria, you don't have to focus heavily. We're going to make a connection there, but just the briefest of connections. Okay. Camera might shake a little bit because it is connected to the easel. Now, I was supposed to be able to, at this point, do some live videos, but some weird thing about YouTube's not letting me do the live videos yet. I don't know why. So right now it's still videos. The live video would have had this as a live painting, and then you would have listened to me cuss and moan and be very upset at things, like not being able to find the brush I want to find. Seriously, what is with my studio right now? Why can't I find that brush? It's going to be right in front of me. It's going to be right on the floor. It's going to be underneath something. It's going to accidentally have been kicked all the way across the room. Part of it, why? Now, I got these big old boots on right now. I really ought to take them off while I'm in my studio. I got a nice carpet here on the floor that's not going to hurt my feet, but for some reason, I'm a little stupid today. That's okay. I'm going to claim that that's part of the creative process. Doesn't matter if it's true or not. It sounds good. All right. Okay. We got a little too much paint right there. It was thickening up a bit. This is good. Now, what we have here is we have a real nice multi-layer to the paint. I don't know if it comes across really well on the camera, but it should. And now I can use the same brush that we did before to soften some things up. I'm just going to go along my edges and just kind of soften as I go. I don't need to be as fast as I was before. You do have to kind of paint fast with acrylic. You have to learn how to paint fast. My buddy Mike's fond of telling people that, oh yeah, everybody complains about painting with acrylic because it dries so fast. And then what do? Well, I've got Pinky, the hair dryer, to help me dry it faster because it's not drying fast enough for me to be happy. So, who knows? That might actually mean I'm probably a serial murderer or something. I'm just kidding. YouTube, do not take me off. I do not do that. Okay, now let's pull. Oh, I like that. I also like this kind of separation that's right there. And I'm going to bring that one down. I picked up more paint just to do this. This Wind Spirit may not be as elegant as the other one because we've got a little bit more going on. We're going to pull some right here. You can dry brush with these as well, and they work very well to do that. I'll give you an example. Where's a spot I can do an example? I'll just kind of pull right there. I can do that there because I'm going to fix it later on. All right, now. Okay, we're going to come in with some yellow white, and we're going to mix it with a little bit of our brown so we can get another color in here. Okay, so we've got some nice stuff loaded up here. We're going to pull straight into it. And again, this is using that tiny makeup brush. We don't want to completely cover up any of these areas because we've got some nice color from the background. And the paint I've just mixed is rather opaque. So we don't want to layer it heavy on. We just want to pull in certain spots for it. Okay. And I like the way that's looking. I'm going to go a little heavier here because I want to get some of that black out. And I think I'll actually go in. We're going to do a two-part here. This is great. This is a good example of something you guys need to learn. I'm just going to take this brush here, this little chisel. We're going to load it up with some white. We're going to get the white semi-wet, not super wet. We still want it to be a little bit thick. And we're going to pull it in here like this. Then we're going to take that brush that I just cleaned. And we're going to play around with some wavy patterns here. Pull it in. Sometimes you want to get a hard line, sometimes you don't. In this case, I'm liking it. Now this is going to be very, very opaque paint. There's not going to be hardly any transparency to this at all. So I have to be pretty happy and confident with where I'm going to put it. And lucky me, I am very confident with where I'm putting it. I still want to get some of this natural color, this stuff from the background to show through. And we're getting a good feel to this thing. Okay. It's getting a little dry there. We need to get more water to pull it in. Kind of reminds me at this point of The Bride of Frankenstein, right? I think that was the one. The gal, you know, that old black and white film, and she had the funky color of hair. Maybe you can say it reminds you of the Munsters or something. But I'm liking it, and I'm going to add some up and down right through here, just some vertical. Making the brush shake the canvas in turn is making the entire thing shake. Well, all right. I'm going to get a lot of white because I want this white just shining like crazy through this area. This is primarily my light source right here. I'm also going to bring it down along the nose. I'll have to get a finer brush to get into some of that other area there. Okay. Get the chin. We can always go back over that and get it a little bit more detail. You know what? I might be able to reach in there and get what I want to get. Oh, look at that. We got it. Okay. We'll pull up from there and pull down from there. And I can go back over with black to get that the way I want it to look. Okay, I'm pretty happy with the way that looks. I want to get it a little bit more opaque though. Get a little bit of yellow. Now, if your white is not nearly as bright, what makes white brighter? Yellow. So that really works with clouds too. If you're doing some clouds, the edges of your clouds where the light is going to hit it the most, you want to go in and do a very off-white yellow with that. And you can just mix your medium yellow with your titanium white, and you'll get a pretty decent color that you like. And if it goes too much, well, just go back over with some titanium white. In fact, I'm just going to move all the way through that. I'm going to put more in here, just kind of get it to really shine and brighten up for me. And then I'm going to bring this down here. This is nice because it separates this right here, and it's going to make it fuzz out a little bit. There we go. This is working great. Told you there's going to be a lot of colors to this, and there we go. We're covering up some of that stuff that I didn't like about where the thumb was before. Okay, starting to get something that I'm happy with, but I need a different brush. Where's that brush that I'm looking for? You know what? I guess we're just going to have to use this one. This is not my favorite brush for using on this. Why can't I find any of the brushes I'm looking for today? Okay, we're going to go back to our chisel brush. And what we're going to do is, you know what? Before we do that, let's do this. We're going to pull this up and down. I want to kind of get a wood grain feel here. I like that. It's pulling it in the right areas, really separating it. Yeah, this is good painting. Okay. People will say, how in the world can you turn around and sell a painting that you've only spent 2 hours on? How can you sell it for $500 or $600? How can you sell it for $700 or $800? It's easy. It took me 30 years plus the 2 hours to get to that point. And I'm not really happy with that corner, so we're going to lighten it up. Oh, good. That gray's moving in. I've got some gray that got picked up on this because I've got that in there. Pulling it in. I'm happy with that. Maybe I'm happy. It's not getting as much as I wanted in there. We're going to dip into some more white and yellow. And we're going to pull it across the top there. And across the face of our wind spirit. Okay, it's working out. All right. Okay, guess what time it is? It's time to dry. Why? Because I gotta. Again, more noise. You know what, before I get too much of that going on, there's something I want to do right here. I'm going to get a lot of paint on this. I'm going to pull it from here right through there. I decided that I didn't like this big black stuff shining through, and I wanted to get some more highlight right in here. And we're just going to pull it up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Get some right there as well. We'll kind of delineate her. We're still going to have plenty of background where I need to have it. And maybe make her a bit more elegant. Yes, this I'm happier with. Okay, but then again, how do you soften things up? Well, you got a variety of different brushes to choose from. I'm going to soften it up with this one right here. Pull it out. Oh yes, I'm happy with the way that's looking. All right, I'll say that a lot, well, because that's my internal dialogue. If I'm unhappy with myself, there's a lot of cussing, and I'm not going to do that on YouTube right now because, well, I don't want to be shut down. So let's just pull across there. This is nice because it's still a little wet. It'll allow me to pull through here and here. And again, that'll get me that kind of ethereal feel to the wind spirit. Okay, we're getting a little bit wet now and not having as much paint. That's good. This also gets me the feeling of that woodcut. There we go. Yeah, all that black that was there, we kind of got rid of it. Ah, yeah, very happy. Very happy with the way things are moving now. But we're not done yet. No, we're going to pull out, boom, the hairdryer. This time I really want to get everything dry because I'm going to be working on the highlight area that's up here near the face. You know what? Let's just adjust this a little bit there. The face. Oh, and you can see the hand now that I'm working on. Okay. I really want to get this area right here super dry, so I'm not going to pick up any more paint. Yeah, that's kind of a cardinal sin, running your fingers across it, but if you're pretty sure it's dry, it's going to work. Okay. Oh, look at that. Probably ought to plug my phone in so it doesn't die during the video, right? Okay, well, let's plug it in. Okay, the best way to support the channel, again, I said it before, I'm going to say it again. Please go to imagi.com and please, please, please take a look at buying a card or some limited edition prints. I do have Auria, the Wind Spirit #1 on there. That's what this is Auria, the Wind Spirit #2. So I want you guys to be able to go and get the stuff, pick it up, get some great merchandise, get some things custom done and signed by me. And if you decide that you want to pick up a deck of cards, iMagi cards, that's on imagicardgame.com, as are the limited edition prints. What we're going to do is we're going to come down here. We're going to pull across the face and then pull up, away from it, and down. And again, I'm using this very large brush here, this one. I'm going to pull down here, here. All right, looking very good. Get a little more in here. And that's going to start drying real quick. I know, because the paint's going to start drying because it's kind of dry paint. So I want to make sure I soften it up in the edges where I want to soften it. If it's dried too fast, get your brush, again, this little makeup brush, get a little wet, go in, soften it up, and you can see it really does this great stuff for you. Pull everything through. And these are not only the colors we're going to use, we've got some other things to do to it as well. Because I really like, I'm kind of on a burnt umber kick right now. I'm going to bring more paint in here. I want it to be very bright. Sorry, not burnt umber, burnt sienna. I'm kind of on a burnt sienna kick right now, and I want to get some burnt sienna and mix it in with my light colors and get a good feel to it. These makeup brushes really make my job so much easier when I do everything. Okay. Where I told you, let's get some of that burnt sienna. I'm going to make it a little bit wet. That's a little too wet. Okay. If you get too wet, clean off your brush. Dry it up a little bit. Pull over and start again inside your easel. Okay. Now the reason I like this burnt sienna is it's going to give me kind of a red-orange color in here. And I'm going to use that on the outside of my light source. It's going to make it look like it's fading out on the edges. And it's going to fade into what I have for my background as well, which is why I put it in the background. We'll bring this here just a little. Bring it down, maybe go across my fingers. They were a bit too dark. And this will fuzz it out. And it gives me that kind of woodcut feel. I'm telling you, when I decided to start painting with these makeup brushes, it made my entire job easier. We're out here a little more. We're going to kind of put some in, bring it down across here, bring it in here. And then that's starting to dry real fast, so I need another brush to go through it. Where are the brushes I want? There it is. This one. I'm going to just pull back and forth across here. And some of you might be saying, well, aren't you losing some of your definition? Well, yes, in some places I'm losing some definition. But again, it does make it look like it's a bit of a wood grain that's pulling back and forth. And then when I really dry this out, you know what? I want just that up there. That feels good right up there. That's just more burnt sienna up there. And you know what? I'm going to pull it all the way across here. That's some burnt sienna, and my brush is wet, so it allows me to mix it really well. I'll do the same thing down here. I'm going to go into my umber down at the bottom and get it a little darker. As I was saying when I prepped the canvas, if you'll take the bottom of your canvas and you make it a little darker, that ends up giving it a bit of a sink feeling. It's heavier at the bottom. That's a good thing. And if you darken up your corners just a little bit, then all the eyes go to the center. Now, you don't want to do what we call a halo, where it's just a halo in the center. You want to kind of give it some really good feel back and forth. So it's got the eye has a place to land and then walk across the canvas. Okay. We're getting right where we need to go. All right. We've got a few colors in there. I'm getting pretty happy with it. I'm not super happy with it, but I'm pretty happy. I'm going to go in, well, clean that brush up. Now, it's probably a little bit wet in places. If I put my finger here, I'd be able to smudge it. And you know what? I'm going to get a little teeny tiny brush. Very tiny brush. And we're going to I want my mixture of dark paint to be kind of wet if I'm going to do anything like this. Because I need it to flow. And let's pull it in. Then pull it up and down. And I am going to just pull up and down and let it skip to where it wants to be. Because this is not one of those paintings where every brush stroke needs to land in exactly the right spot. And that's looking good. The darker I make these areas, the more the highlight is going to look super light by contrast. I want that to look faded out in that spot, up and down, bring it in. That looks pretty good. Okay. And then I'm going to get that line moving through. That looks really good. That's an elegant line. I'm very happy with that. Not so happy with that one. There we go. Better. And then just a little up and down to get it to feel like we've got that wood grain again. That's good. That looks good. We need to get more of our black, and we're gonna bring some spears down here. The idea is not to make everything super dark. You kind of get a feel of it. Now, if this is our light source, then the inside of it is going to be darker than edges. But we're breaking a lot of rules here. There's a lot of rules that say no hard lines. We're creating hard lines because we want them. And I think we'll get a hard line there. We're going to bring one down here for right there. Oh yeah, this one looks good. And we'll bring one down there. A couple right next to it, kind of get the feel for that hair. Now we're going to go the opposite way. Okay. Oh, I'm very happy with that. You got a little wiggle on the end, but we're okay with it. And that one we're going to use for our up and down right through here. And then I'm going to get a different brush. I've got a really nice brush for this. All right, this one works great. It's soft. You can see what it looks like, and it gets me the ability to really, I can bring things with a hard line, and I can turn it and use it when I need to. I'm liking the way that works, and then I'm going to fuzz the line and go back over it. Okay, I'm not happy with that. So, I'm gonna bring it off. Bring it all down. That's happier. And just, these are the fine details of the painting. For the most part, it's done. After this, it's just me getting a few things that I really want to do to the painting. For instance, I'm going to bring some highlight across here. because I want this one to get lost a little bit. And again, this brush is a nice one for getting close to some of your other lines and then being able to pull it down and make it soft. And it's working. All right, we're getting some good things. I think I want more bright white right in here. And then just a hair more bright white here. And along there. Cut into my black a bit too much, but that's okay. I'm going to live with it. And we will pull this out through here. Good job. Good job. All right, so that gives you a good example of how to do an Auria painting. We spent about 30 minutes on the actual background of it, and oh, you know what? Let's do this. Nope, not enough. I need really good bright white for here. Yeah. Let's bring along there and then fuzz it up and down for our woodcut. All right, I'm liking it. And maybe just a bit more in certain spots down here. Okay, we've got all of our highlights where we need them. We've got our orange brought in with our, let's see, the burnt sienna. You know what, maybe just a little bit more. I want a little bit more in two spots. Some of that burnt sienna right here. And then bring it in, fuzz it through. And I've got a few. I thought I was ready to finish up the painting, but we're not. We're going to bring some more burnt sienna in. I want this color heavy in certain spots. Mm-hmm. Right there, and then we've got to bring this brush because we got it really wet there. That's okay. Pull it all the way through there. Okay, now I'm happy, and I'll show you how I like to finish these up. Again, I can't find the brush that I'd really like, so I'm going to, oh, you know what? Let's just use the big one. We're going to use the big one. We're going to bring it to a point. It's not really a point, but it'll work for a point. We're going to dip it in our paint. But you see it's really thick there, right? So we go to the side here. We'll do it at the top so you guys can see. I'm just going to pull it and pull it. Then from the bottom, I'm going to give it some pulls straight up. Now that's a little bit too uniform. So we've got a dry brush, another big makeup one. And we'll use that pull. And we will vary the way that we're pulling from the bottom. And that means we already have some paint on it, so we can pull a little bit from the top. Get a little bit of a feel. Soften that a little because it's too hard. And then pull again. All right, let's put our signature on. Signatures, okay, an important thing about signatures. You want to use a very, 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 very delicate brush. We're going to use this one. Yeah, it kept on moving, and we're going to make it so that we can see the bottom. And we're going to take, really mix up some thin white so that it flows. Can't be too thin so that it's watery and it runs, but it can't be too thick or it won't flow. We should really dry the area we're going to sign. Then we'll sign it. And practice your signature over and over again so that you have a consistent one. All right, and I like to hold my breath when I do them. Okay, make sure you have plenty of paint on. And then I like to put the year I completed it. And there it is. We're going to pull out of here and give you guys a great view of the Auria painting. There it is.